React, a JavaScript library for building user interfaces and also a pretty hot topic in the world of web development. As a developer at a startup with only 3 engineers, React was immediately brought to my attention as soon as we were ready to add a UI to our product. The principles of React go a long way, since the same concepts can be used in cross-platform phone and desktop application. To clarify, I have some exposure to React, where in past projects, I would understand just enough to copy and paste code and get stuff working. So in this video, I decided to challenge myself to learn React over the next 7 days. To somewhat loosely quantify my learning, I'm going to be learning about core React concepts I'm interested in, such as components, props, hooks, providers, routing, and caching. I'll also be learning CSS frameworks such as Chakra UI. To spice things up, I'm also going to be doing everything I said above in TypeScript rather than JavaScript. Finally, this React learning arc will end with me revamping my personal website and adding a tech blog. At the same time, I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff with React at work, like implementing authentication flow. Alright, so 2 days have already passed since this challenge has started, and so far I haven't done too much. On the first day, I kind of watched a lot of tutorial videos. So the first video I watched was on TypeScript, where I learned a little bit more about the language, about how the transpiler works, and then I also watched a React video on components, props, prop drilling, hooks, and other basics. The second day, I learned about Chakra UI, right? How their theming API works. It essentially allows you to pass your CSS theme object all over your app, and it's actually pretty cool. Yeah, this also meant that I had to learn CSS pretty much from scratch because I don't remember anything that I learned from class sophomore year. I did a little exercise where I pulled up a personal website that I did like from another person and then tried to emulate the CSS as best as possible so that my website would match his. Since his repository was public, I would essentially implement the CSS and then see how he did it and see if it was better than mine and kind of compare. Or if I was totally stuck, I would just look at his and then be like, oh, okay, this is how it's done. Alright, so I did actually quite a bit of stuff today at work. I implemented the sign in and sign up page for our company's website, and I also implemented the underlying logic for the authentication flow using Firebase. So you can pretty much log in with your email or password or with your Google account automatically. As for my personal website, I worked on the nav bar and was pretty tired after work today, so that kind of just kept it at that. But yeah. Alright, so day 4, 5, and 6 are done, and I am pretty much done with my landing page, but I vastly underestimated how long it would take me to write my own CSS and not use any templates. And so I don't think I'll be able to do the tech blog by these 7 days, but it is definitely something that I'm going to be working on in the future. As for work, I utilized React's context API to know whether the user is authenticated anywhere in the component tree. This was super cool conceptually, and I thought it was very clever how Facebook decided to design this when they were making React. And lastly, I also messed around with Chakra's theme API because I wanted to stop writing repeated code, both for work and for my personal project. And so I've started to build my own variants for buttons, my own variants for certain flex boxes, and stuff like that. Alright, day 7 is finally here, and I deployed my website using a service called Vercel. Definitely recommend it, and you can actually check out the website at samkyusco.com. But yeah, there isn't that much on it right now. So in general, I thought that learning front-end engineering and React in particular was really fun. I felt like I was working both sides of my brain each day. Obviously with the work that I did at home with my personal project, it was more creative and artsy and making things look nice and clean and not too over the top. It kind of gave me familiarity with CSS and theming. While on the other hand, the work that I did at my job was obviously more technically challenging, and I needed to use a lot more backend functionality of React, such as providers, hooks, and React query. So would I recommend React? Definitely. From a practical standpoint, I don't really see React going anywhere over the next few years. I also realized that front-end developers that can both implement a clean design and also write complex state management in React is exceedingly rare. And these positions are usually split into two, like a UX designer and then a front-end engineer. So if you can do both, especially in the startup market, you'd be a very hot commodity. Thank you for watching, and please like or subscribe or whatever if you like the video. Thank you.